welcome to another episode of Erongo Talk. I'm your host, Rene Genis, and today we join you with a lovely view of Namdok on Erongo Talk. So in today's episode, we will be chatting with Rene Genis about fundraising efforts for Swakopmund teenager Vanessa Grimbeek. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back after this. And now it is time for your news. In our first story for today, Old Mutual committed to a 3-year partnership agreement valued at 300,000 Namibian dollars annually for 3 years with the Africa Leadership Institute, or ALI, to train and develop primary and high school principals and head of departments of government schools. The 3-year agreement is an extension of an existing 14-year partnership between Old Mutual and ALI, with the aim to equip school management with the necessary leadership knowledge and skills through the Transformational Leadership Certificate as endorsed by the Ministry of Basic Education, Arts and Culture, as well as the National Qualifications Authority. This is an NQF Level 5 in Namibia. Old Mutual's investment will be channeled towards the learning material, class facilitation and accommodation of the trainees over the 3-year period. To date, Old Mutual has invested over 5 million Namibian dollars, enabling over 500 principals and heads of departments to graduate from the course successfully. With this renewed agreement, a further 45 school education leaders are expected to be trained, demonstrating that we are committed to help build capacity and skills of the leaders in our education sector, said Ngandi Katoma, the Executive of Marketing, Communications and Customer Strategy at Old Mutual. In our second story for today, the German organization Arbeits- und Fördergemeinschaft der Deutschen Schulvereine in Namibia, or AGDS for short, and the German embassy announced the provision of scholarships for BA education students. This comes due to a lack of qualified teachers, which is one of the main challenges faced by the Namibian education system. For many years, the organization has provided scholarships to Namibian students studying a Bachelor of Education for primary and secondary school. In return, the students commit to teaching at an AGDS school for a few years after the completion of their studies. The AGDS is an umbrella organization for school associations which represents schools in Namibia where German is taught as a first language. The German embassy has supported the AGDS in the quest to make this study course and profession more attractive for several years. This year, Deputy Head of the German Embassy, Ellen Goltz, and Chairman of the AGDS, Hans-Joachim Bohmer, signed a funding agreement to the tune of €7,500, around 126,000 Namibian dollars, which will finance scholarships for 3 students this year. And then finally, in our final story for today, Erongo Governor Neville Andre announced that he would be inflating the daily vaccination target from 400 to 1,000 persons per day through the establishment of the Erongo Vaccination Campaign for COVID-19, or EVCC for short. We're talking a lot of shorts this morning. The governor has set his sights on vaccinating 68% of the Erongo region, which is roughly 121,000 individuals. But as of Tuesday, he announced that merely 1,900 people in the Erongo region had been fully vaccinated. The slow uptake could be due to a number of factors, such as insufficient human resources, a scarcity of vaccines, and misinformation, the governor said. In light of this, he says social media platforms will be engaged extensively to combat misinformation. Andre also noted with concern that specifically the younger age groups are not being vaccinated. The Office of the Governor, in collaboration with the Health Ministry, hopes to establish 16 more vaccination sites, as well as dispatch 1 mobile vaccination team to every district in the region. The aim of the mobile teams will be to reach out to the elderly and the disabled who cannot physically visit a vaccination site, as well as those in outlying areas. So you can read up more on the stories we discussed today at our website. That's at www.erongo.com.na. That's www.erongo.com.na. And please feel encouraged to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Joining us today is Rene Genis. She is one of the wonderful people behind the fundraisings for Vanessa Grimbeek, who recently had a very tragic incident in Swakopmund. Hi Rene, how are you doing?
Hi Irina, I'm fine, thank you very much.
So Rene, could you take us a little bit through what happened with Vanessa?
Okay, my son came home. Vanessa and Michael studies together, and he came home and he told me Vanessa had an accident. At first I just thought, okay, car accident, she's fine. And then about 2 days later I learned that Vanessa was rushed to the hospital and she was rushed to Windhoek. So I called the teacher who gave me her mum's number. I phoned mum and then I found out what happened. And then I decided I'm going to climb into the box and help them.
Mm-hmm. So what exactly is it that made you decide to get involved and help them?
I'm just one of those people. I just love to help people. I always think, if something happens to one of my children, I hope that there is somebody outside that will do the same for my child, or for me, or for my husband.
Yeah. So you're currently raising funds for Vanessa. Could you take us a little bit through what you need the funds for and roughly how much you're hoping to raise?
Okay, the funds is needed firstly for Vanessa. The state hospital doesn't have all the medicine that she needs, so most of the medicine are bought. And then secondly, mum is stuck in Windhoek. Mum doesn't have a work at the moment, so she needs a place to stay. She needs food. And state hospital food is not nice. So we try to cook food for Vanessa, and then we take it for her. Good, balanced food. And being a child, she also likes biltong, sweeties, so that also must be provided. And then Dad is here in Swakopmund. Currently he's also out of job because he's looking after Mum and Dad's sister. She has got some kind of syndrome. So they must be looked after. Electricity, food, and so forth.
Mm-hmm. So then could you tell us a little bit about the fundraising efforts for Vanessa?
Okay, what I started with, I called Vanessa's sister. She is a Zumba instructor, and we decided we are going to put classes together, and then we are going to challenge the companies. And that way we are going to raise funds. And then I called Werner van Zyl, and I asked him if there is a possibility that he could do a show for us. I haven't spoken to him recently, but I think he already did it for us and put it on Facebook. And then I called one of my other friends, and I'm not going to call out his name. He asked me not to, but he's a very, very good dancer. So we are going to put a show together for her, and then we are going to film it and put it on discs and sell it, all for Vanessa. And then next year we are planning a 60 to 80 show, where people can dress up, and all the funds will go for Vanessa, because this is still a very, very long road for Vanessa. We cannot just have one fundraising and hope we are going to make $2 million, because I think that is what we are looking at. Yes.
So could you give us a bit of an overview as to what this $2 million is going to go for?
Everything that I have called out now, it's going to go for her medicine. Firstly, that is the most important thing. There is a salve that she uses with every dressing. The salve itself is $300. So if they do the dressing 3 times a day, we have to buy that salve 3 times a day. And then secondly, it will go for food and a roof over the head for Mum in Windhoek. And thirdly, it will go here to Dad and her sister. So it will go also for caring, food, electricity, and so forth.
So do you guys have any idea roughly how long Vanessa's recovery will take?
It's going to take a while. It's going. I think Vanessa still have about 6 months roughly that she will be in and out of hospitals. If she recovers now, then she will have further operations to see if there's any more dead cells that needs to be removed. When that is finished, she will have the skin transplant. And from there onwards, she will need, I think, longer. She will need physiotherapy to be able to learn herself to work with what she's got. I do not know how many fingers she has lost already, but I know she has lost a few, and she's lost a few tips. And the last time her mum spoke of that there is some dead tissue that was a little bit higher up in the arm. So, but it seems to me that she is starting to recover, although she says that she is in much pain.
Okay, and then it's been more than a week now since Vanessa's incident. It's been more than a week that she's been at the Windhoek Central Hospital. How is she doing? According to your last intel, according to information from her mother, how has she been doing?
As I said, I spoke to her mother this morning. Mum is a bit hysteric because Mum worries about the money, that there will not be enough money to pay for everything. Vanessa, as I say, she's in constant pain, but we try to cheer her up. Everybody sends little messages on WhatsApp for her. Everybody sends little pictures for her. We try and cheer her up, but you can just go so far. If you live with pain, that's one thing. And at the moment, she's in extreme pain.
And then, Rene, you didn't know Vanessa and her family personally before this incident, but you've gotten to know them through helping them. So could you just give us a bit of an overview of what Vanessa was like prior to her incident?
Vanessa she was a very soft girl, according to my son, very shy, but she always stood up when somebody needed help. She was always the first one that said, I will help, whenever somebody needed help. And like when my son started school there, he didn't have a laptop. And Vanessa actually gave her laptop to him and said, you can use mine. It's okay, I'll cope. So she was a very, very caring, giving person. And her mum is a very, as I heard from talking to her and being with her on WhatsApp, she's a very soft, caring person. And then the little sister here in Swakopmund, I've met her. I'm not going to call out her name. We want to keep it private as possible. But I am her Omi now. She calls me Omi. So, gosh, I'm a Omi now. And the father I haven't met personally. I think he's taking this very hard. It's very difficult for him. He's the provider of the family. And at the moment, his daughter is in extreme pain. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing that he can do about it. So I think as father and as mother, it is very difficult for them. I think more difficult for mum, because she sees what her daughter is going through. She sees the pain. She cannot feel it, but she sees it, and there's nothing she can do about it.
Okay, great. Thank you for your time, Rene.
Thank you, Irina.
Shoop-de-dee-shoo, I'm so lost, so loop-loop-de-loopy over you. Baby, bubba, shoop-de-dee-shoo, I'm so lost, so loop-loop-de-loopy over you.
Okay, so joining me here on Erongo Talk for the very first time is the Dana Secondary Schools in Walvis Bay's media team. Now these four ladies are Chusnelda Korupanda, who is also the chairperson of the LRC team here at the school, Joel Bampton, who is the head of these ladies, Tamlin Damon, and then on the far end we have Melanie Brown. Now these four ladies are the iron ladies behind Dana Selena, which is the school newspaper that is printed by MyZone, proudly the youth brand of Namibia Media Holdings. Now Joel Bampton here next to me is the head. Now Joel, what is the most favorite thing about being part of the media team?
My most favorite thing about being part of the media team is getting to know more people and working with my team, using my voice to put out stories into the world and just talk about things that I care about.
Yes. I mean, that's the whole idea of why MyZone is doing this project. Now, Chusnelda, just there at the far end, you're also the chairperson of the LRC. You're also part of the media team. What is your recipe? Do you do time management? How do you balance it all?
For me, it's mostly about just balancing and finding the balance to mix my schoolwork, my LSU work, my media team, and just my life off school as well. So mostly what I do mostly is just write everything that I have to do. I write it down on a schedule, work on a daily basis, and just try to follow my routine.
Yes, so there we also have a tip for you today for time management is very important. Now, Tamlin, you three ladies also worked at the Buko Woestynfees that concluded last week. What did you enjoy about it?
It was a learning experience. We got an inside view of how it is to work in media, and I could say that I walked away with much respect for broadcasters because I was in the sun the whole day. Yeah, but journalism is definitely my future. I can see it. It was really beneficial.
Nice. Yeah, we already have a future NMH employee. And then just finally, Melanie, from your side, what would you like to tell your fellow learners? I know you still find yourselves in the COVID-19 pandemic. Things are tough. What would you like to tell them?
That you just have to go through, stay positive, and just do you.
Awesome. There you have it. The four ladies of SS, the Dana, Selena, a media span. Like Jusnelda said, time management is important, and Melanie said, stay positive. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
And now it's time for your weather and tides in Walvis Bay and all the other major towns in the Erongo region. That unfortunately brings us to the end of another episode of Erongo Talk. But you don't have to miss us too much until tomorrow, because you can check out our website, www.erongo.com.na. It's www.erongo.com.na for all the stories we discussed earlier and so much more. And if you want to let us know what's happening in your town and in your area and in your community, you can get in touch with us on WhatsApp and on Telegram. That's at 0811 7040. It's 0811 7040. And this is also going to be the number that you call if you want to get in touch for advertisement opportunities. So until tomorrow, we know we're gearing for the weekend, but weekend does not mean be irresponsible. So please wear your mask, sanitize your hands, maintain social distance, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and feel encouraged to get vaccinated against COVID-19. This is the only way that we are going to end this pandemic. So we'll see you again tomorrow.